If you've watched any of my previous business-related videos, I mentioned many times that my main niche is laser cut acrylic patterns for hobby leather workers. But leather workers aren't the only people who use patterns for their crafts, so I often serve a lot of customers in related niches like sewing and upholstery. This line of work has been very profitable for me for the past 8 years, but sometimes, like right now, the busiest time of year for sales, I can't keep up with the amount of inquiries I get through Etsy and my website, so I often only have time to work on custom designs for my long-term clients or patterns that are just really easy and quick to set up. So here you go. For anyone looking to put your laser to use, I'll do a little hand-holding and show you how you can take some of these inquiries off my hands. And the best part about offering this kind of service is you don't have to worry about designing anything yourself. The customer provides the design to you. All you have to do is engrave, cut, and ship it out. Here's how it works. First up, where do you find these customers? The best and probably only place you should try doing this is on Etsy. Etsy has a gigantic user base of customers in every hobby craft niche you can think of, already shopping with intent to buy. I know a lot of people like to complain about Etsy fees and how expensive it is nowadays, but that's the cost of getting access to their customer base, their platform, and their services like payment processing. So factor it into your numbers and deal with it. You can do this without Etsy, like using your own website. I do it, but you better have a robust marketing plan ready to drive leads because getting customers is going to be 100% on you. Second, what kind of material do you use for these sewing patterns? I have only ever offered my custom cut patterns in clear cast acrylic. However, there have been many times where customers have requested different colors and thicknesses of acrylic that I didn't carry. So you can easily one-up me by offering a better selection of materials. I know a lot of people use Mylar for sewing patterns, but I've never touched the stuff, so I can't comment on how it laser cuts. Here's what a fresh pack of cast acrylic looks like. This will probably last me for about a week's worth of orders. And this is what the acrylic looks like without the paper masking on the top and the bottom. Here's a look at my scrap pile for the week so far. Third, what kind of sewing patterns do customers want you to cut? All kinds. Some are big, some are small. Here are a couple examples. Let's look at a couple examples from this week's orders. Here we have 2 cutout patterns for dog bandanas. Got a large and a small. They must be working with some giant dogs because this pattern at its widest point is a little bit over 24 inches long. Next pattern, I'm not exactly sure what this is. I don't always ask, but I think it's for a fabric doll. You can see here would be the main body part, and these look like little arms and legs. Again, I don't always ask what people are looking for me to cut. In our last example here, this is a pattern for a drink sleeve. This wraps around a bottle or a coffee cup or something like that, so you can hold it in your hand without getting too hot or too cold. Fourth, what kind of laser should I have to start offering custom cut sewing patterns? Well, if you're going to be using clear acrylic like I do, the only answer to that question is a CO2 laser. A diode laser will not cut clear acrylic. I repeat, a diode laser like the X-Tool D1 or S1 will not cut clear acrylic. However, something like the X-Tool P2 would certainly work. The only other consideration might be the size of your working area and what size patterns you're willing to cut. I have a 16 by 30 bed on my CO2 laser, and I offer the ability to cut some reasonably large single piece patterns. Fifth, what kind of software skills do I need? A lot of the patterns you come across for sewing on Etsy are formatted PDFs designed for printing on paper, not laser cutting. If you're lucky, you'll get a PDF that's a well-formatted vector file and you don't have to do much prep to it for laser. At the other end, you'll get flattened raster files or even drawings. If you're willing to help out your customers and vectorize those patterns, you will do a great business. I usually offer to vectorize simple shape patterns, but if it's too in-depth, I usually tell the customer I can't accept the order at this time. Sixth, what should my Etsy listing look like? I would start with something extremely to the point and good for SEO, like custom cut sewing patterns. Probably can't go wrong with that. In the description, let people know what you offer, the types of materials you will cut and engrave for them, the max sizes, the file types you accept, how you calculate pricing, and whatever else is relevant to your service. For photos, well, I suggest buying a couple sewing pattern PDFs off Etsy and cutting them out to show as an example. The customer wants to see the product they're buying, even if it's a couple pieces of acrylic or mylar. Once you come up with a decent listing, spend a little on Etsy ads to get it in front of people's eyeballs. Trying to do this without Etsy ads is possible, but it's an uphill battle. So with all that being said, did I invent this idea? No, of course not. I'm sure there are many other sellers on and off Etsy offering this kind of service. Probably some that specialize in fabric sewing patterns, which I do not. It doesn't stop my inbox from being full. If you're just getting started and having a mental block on what kind of products to offer and can't think of anything, turn to service work ideas like this. It's much easier to tap into a market that already exists with proven demand than creating your own design product and praying people like it enough to buy it. Service work like this is not seasonal like a lot of laser cutting product ideas you see being promoted. You don't need to prep for Halloween, then prep for Thanksgiving, then Christmas. No, you offer the same service with the same material year-round and just work on getting new customers and hopefully turn them into long-term clients. That's it for today. A little bit of a shorter video. I managed to avoid COVID for the past 3 to 4 years, but it finally got me. I just want to go blow my nose and lay on the couch. As always, thanks for watching.